What's up, Terrifics? Here in downtown Las Vegas live. I'm Michael Artsis. This is the Las Vegas Car Stars Experience in the Fremont Experience. It's a wonderful car show, and I've come across one of my all-time favorite cars. It is KITT. I don't know if you can hear KITT talking to me because I'm Michael. Not Michael Knight, though. I wish I was. We've got Catherine Hickland here. She was in the series and was David Hasselhoff's first wife, which they reenacted on the show.
Yes, they did. As a matter of fact, we reenacted that on the show, and that was the last episode I was in because, as you know, I took a bullet for Michael Knight at our wedding. And even our minister that married us in real life, this was 32 years ago, played himself on that episode. So it was really very cool.
That seems like it would be pretty fun and cool, and it seems like it was a cool time of your life.
It was, but I've had much cooler times since then. I have had an incredible life and continue to do so. So it was a cool time. You know, it was great. The first episode, White Bird, I wrote the story for that. So that was really fun to watch that come to life. And
you've done a lot of amazing things, to say the least.
Yeah, I've spent my 38 years on television, and I just retired from acting about 4 years ago.
Really? I don't understand when people say they retire from television because I love doing this so much. I could never imagine stopping. Like, I don't know how Letterman did it. He just walked away, he's done. You know, it's like...
You just know when, you know, you have the same passion to leave it as you had to get in it. And so you know it, and it's not because I didn't like it anymore, but I wanted to have a life. And I was on One Life to Live for 11 years, and soap operas, you know, so I really worked literally 80 hours a week. And, you know, I got married to a wonderful man several years ago, and I really wanted to have a life, you know, and I'm a hypnotist. I do 120 stage shows a year. So, you know, I'm not just doing nothing, yeah.
Wow, did you just say you're a hypnotist?
Yes.
I didn't know that about you. First of all, I think it's great that you know, look, you worked 80 hours a week. I certainly understand that myself. It gets grueling at some point. And, you know, for you to be able to enjoy life now a little bit more, have a husband and enjoy time with him that you're doing, I think it's great. And then you're a hypnotist. I would love to hear more about that.
Well, I've always been a hypnotist, but I didn't do stage shows until about 9 years ago. So when I thought about what I want to do when I didn't want to act anymore, because I'm not a personality that can do nothing, I have a creative mind. So someone said, you should take your hypnosis to the stage. And so I do over 100 comedy hypnosis shows a year.
Wow, I would love to see that show. How do people find out more?
Well, you can go to CatherineHickland.com. I have a summer tour coming up starting in July. And I'm also a corporate keynote speaker. So I will take a corporate keynote speech for the company I'm working for, and I integrate the hypnosis into the speech to demonstrate the power of the subconscious mind and how we can be better at sales and how we can be more influential to people. I'm actually the first lady of influence.
Wow, yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I'd love you to hypnotize me and get me to be better at sales and some other things. I don't know.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, you know, it's better than me hypnotizing you and making you bark like a chicken, right?
Definitely. Could you do that, though? It'd be fun for the cameras.
Yeah, it takes a little longer than
2 minutes in a very crowded space.
A loud, crowded space, right. But, yeah, I'd be happy to do that for you sometime.
That would be cool. We should do it on camera. I would love to. So this is KITT. And I imagine you have a good kinship to KITT. AJ actually owns 2 of the original screen-used cars. This is not one of them. This is a replicar, but this is yours.
This is mine, yeah. So AJ has 2 of 5 original KITT screen-used cars. There's only 5 of them, and he owns 2 of them. He's a good friend of mine. AJ, how do you use?
Palmgren.
Palmgren. I don't want to,
She never says my last name, so she wouldn't know.
I just didn't want to say it wrong, but we've been friends for years because we met each other through this wonderful world of the Knight Rider.
You love it, don't you? I mean, coming around and having people, you know, look at KITT and giving, I mean, this is what I wanted as a kid, the experience to see KITT, and you're doing it.
Well, I love to give people the experience of sitting inside of him and feeling what Michael Knight must have felt like, hearing him talk, having their picture taken. It is why I bought the car, was to give people the experience, because, you know, I use them for charity events and things like that.
That's wonderful, and it's certainly a labor of love. I'm sure it costs you more than you wind up getting back to put into it, but you're giving to charity as well.
Yeah, and muscle cars, they all cost a fortune to maintain, but you have to know that if you're going to own one. It's a money pit, but I love him, so I don't mind.
It's pretty awesome. I've wanted to see KITT my entire life. So this is an exact replica that you put together?
I did not put it together, but Catherine had some very capable people help her.
And you've got a couple of replicas and 2 of 5 of the real screen use cars. Now, were those used for both interior and exterior shots, only exteriors, only interiors?
A variation of both, and all of those cars had different uses throughout the show, throughout the entire 4 seasons that it was on.
What were some of the uses?
Well, there was external camera, there was stunts, definitely plenty of stunts, there was just general driving scenes, all of the above. So.
Could I sit in the car? Would that be okay?
That you need to sit in the car. Also, you know what? A lot of people don't know, but the stunt cars, there was a garage right there at Universal Studios that did nothing but put those cars back together. Because when they would do the jumps and land...
They'd rip them apart.
Yeah, the great Jack Gill, the stunt man that did all those beautiful jumps, and then Buzz did all the...
Buzz Bundy, yes.
Buzz Bundy did all the 2-wheel drives on its side. But, the car took some beatings, so...
So I'll tell you something. We got to NAB, the National Association of Broadcasters Convention. You were there.
Yes.
Well, we do a show there live every year. We should do something next year.
Yeah, we had a booth there this year.
Wow.
My husband is a producer.
Oh.
He's Todd Fisher. He's Debbie Reynolds' son and Carrie Fisher's brother.
Wow.
Yeah, and so we have a production company, so we're at NAB every year.
We need to talk more. So I saw a truck as we were pulling in, and the guys were unloading the gear with its ramp open and nothing on the truck, and I said, this is my opportunity. Should I try it? And then I thought better. I said, I don't know if this minivan can handle this.
It's all right. It's not good for a minivan, but let's get you inside this car.
Let's get into KITT. And then, if you would, AJ and Catherine, tell me everything we've got in here. It's funny. I remember the door handles.
Well, I'm going to let AJ tell you about it because he really understands this car very well, and I think he's probably one of the most knowledgeable people about this car and about the show besides me. So.
This is a dream come true. I want you to know. There are 3 cars in my life. There are 4 cars in my life from the screen. There's the Batmobile from the '89 Tim Burton film. There is the DeLorean from Back to the Future. There is the Dukes of Hazzard Stars and Bars car. And then there is Knight Rider. And then there is nothing else. And I've wanted to sit in this car forever, and it speaks to me.
It speaks to me too, Michael.
All right, tell me what we've got here.
Well, there's the ever-present line that you shouldn't touch Turbo Boost. Something tells us that you shouldn't touch Turbo Boost.
I would always touch Turbo Boost. You know that, right?
That would be the top button on the right. There you go. And that's it. The car just went flying through the air in Hollywood Magic Land.
The voice modulator.
So this is hooked up. When KITT speaks, of course, you see the voice right there. And Catherine has that wonderfully wired in. All of these displays were a variation of what Michael Chaffee actually designed. Did you realize that Michael Chaffee, the original designer of KITT from Knight Rider, is actually here? Did you know this?
No, I didn't know that.
He's right over there. He's actually signing autographs. He has a salt and pepper hair, a very kind gentleman.
Oh, we should try and talk to him.
Definitely talk with him as well, because he could talk with you at length about the thought process that he put behind the displays and why everything is laid out the way it is in such a way that it captivated the imagination of a young person like me at age of 10 and you at the age of
I was like 4.
Younger than that.
3 or 4.
Exactly. So it captivated our imagination as children just because of that fantastic design and the Hollywood magic that was put behind it.
Look, it's like the earliest version of navigation.
The earliest version of navigation is right there. That is exactly correct.
Wow, I'm holding the steering wheel. What was the deal behind the steering wheel? Do you know?
Well, I'm going to quote Michael Chaffee actually talking with Glenn Larson, the creator of the show, when we interviewed both of them for our first book, Knight Rider Legacy, back 15 years ago. The story was that Glenn wanted the interior of the car to resemble a cockpit, as in a cockpit of a jet. And so this is actually patterned after the steering wheel. The steering yoke you will find in an airplane. And Michael is definitely the person you want to talk to. Michael Chaffee, right over there, is the person you want to talk to about more information about that, because that's one of those things that I'm giving you now, second-hand information.
Gotcha. You've got micro jam, hydraulic lift, rapid cycle. KITT, yes, thank you. I'd like to take a ride now. How's that sound? Okay, let me know what we need to do, Kit. Can we go solve a crime? There's fire.
During the police frequency you requested, there was a fire yesterday at Fang's China Trader restaurant.
Oh, Fang's China Trading Restaurant.
Traced it to a piece of melted down plastic containing traces of acid, identical to those found in the radio at the prison.
Kit's so smart.
That's from the 3rd season opener.
Right away, Michael.
That's a little bit too much.
You might know a little bit too much. You got ejection lift, fire, you've got ultrasonic frequency, all sorts of great
Yes,
stuff.
exactly right. These are actually laid out in a little bit different order than you traditionally would see them on camera, but with many props you'll actually have that where things kind of move around on you.
Absolutely. And then hi-fi, VHF, UHF, AM, we could watch TV in here. We could get our our feed right in here. This is amazing.
Right there on the screen.
Right there on the screen. This is unbelievable. And I love that you have autographs on the dashboard as well. A lot of autographs, Catherine, which is tremendous. Let me ask you something. Did Hoff ever do his own stunts at all with driving the car, or was he in it very much?
Well, I don't think so, because actors are heavily insured,
Right.
and if something happens to the lead actor of a show, of course, that would be a disaster.
Especially a guy as handsome as Hoff.
Yes, very much so. So,
I mean, he has nothing on AJ, but...
well,
I don't know about that.
Yeah. But, yeah, so a star of a show can't really do much because there's too much liability
Sure.
for losing him.
Of
you know?
course.
Yeah.
This is so spectacular. Thank you so much for giving us a little tour of KITT and for showing us KITT. And I love what you're doing. AJ, I love what you're doing. Thank you guys for taking your time.
Oh, sure. I hope that your viewers enjoy this and that it was interesting, because this is, in my opinion, the most iconic car of television.
I said there are 4.
Yeah.
There are only 4 in my
Batman.
mind. Batman, not the TV show Batman in my mind. I like that one, but the 1989 Tim Burton film,
Right.
I love that one. I got a chance to sit in that some years back, and that was very special for me. Also, the DeLorean from Back to the Future.
You need to talk to Michael Chaffee,
We're going to.
because he he designed this car
Yep.
for Knight Rider, and he also designed the DeLorean for Back to the Future.
We're going to have to talk to him, that's for sure.
On the design team, and so you need to talk to him about that.
And then we've got the Stars and Bars from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yep.
And then, and this is no specific order, KITT, which might be my favorite because, well, KITT talks to me personally, being Michael.
Well, the show had a lot of heart, and the show had a lot of love in it, and that's what set it apart.
How did you get involved in the show? Did you just go to an audition and it was simple as that, or was it a little bit more complicated?
Well, I was on a soap opera at the time called Capital on CBS. Knight Rider was an NBC show. I wrote a story for the character of Michael Knight that would take you back into his past. And so I wrote it for me, but I had to audition for it nonetheless. They made me come in and read, and I did. And so I was cast in the role of Stevie Mason, and then they had...
They made you read for it. That's kind of amazing.
Yeah, but that's okay, because when you believe in what you do, you should step up, you know?
Absolutely. Now, did you do this kind of on spec, or did somebody call you and say, hey, you should write this, or were you...
No, I did that on spec.
Wow.
And so then they assigned, writers to the story, and they did a great job with it, and then they wrote 2 sequels to it.
So you loved the show and said, hey, I want to be part of this, and I'm going to write myself a role.
Well, yes, but David was my boyfriend.
Well, I got it. I know.
So I was, yes, I would have been a fan
It
of
wasn't like you didn't know anybody there.
Right, and
You knew somebody pretty influential at the show.
Right, but you don't want to do that, because you can create some bad relationships by trying to bring your girlfriend on, so we didn't do that. We went through all the channels.
So you did it properly.
Did properly, exactly.
Wow.
And then, but it ended up being tremendously popular for the show.
It must have been pretty amazing during that time period. I'm sure that the crowds everywhere you would go would be spectacular.
Yes, David is 6'5", and so you couldn't go anywhere with him because he was so recognizable. So, he was like a beacon. I can slide under the radar, but he couldn't.
I doubt you could slide under the radar, young lady. Catherine, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, and I love your story. One thing before we go. Did you always want to be an actor?
Yeah, I started acting when I knew it when I was a little girl, but I also knew I was going to be a hypnotist. But acting was probably the #1 thing in my mind since I was a little girl, and I started a professional career when I was about 19. And 38 years later, I was.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, but I moved to Los Angeles when I was 17.
Very nice. The 305. I was born in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Holy Cross Hospital.
Me too.
Are you serious?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Wow.
You know, I don't believe in coincidences.
I don't either.
So that's wild.
My new friend.
Yeah.
And AJ too. AJ, thank you so much.
Don't feel left out, my friend.
Don't feel left out. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with a whole lot more right after this. Stay with us.